If you want to achieve your goals fast and faster than anybody else, like you just gotta do things that anybody else is not willing to do. What's up everyone? So as you already know, this video is just going to be why work-life balance is your biggest enemy. If you're ambitious, if you have goals, if you try to achieve anything that's just above average, like whether you try to build an online business, whether you try to become a pro athlete, like whatever your goals are, work-life balance is one of your biggest enemies, and it's something that I used to struggle with for so long, and that's pretty much why I want to bring it up here, because that's something that slowed down my progress for months or even for years. So just to give you an example, I started my online business back in November or maybe December, and what happened is I started kind of just like working 2 to 3 hours, just like everybody that starts something new. They kind of started working on it, but they are not fully dedicated. So that was pretty normal, right? But with time, I was just grinding more and more. But at the beginning, I never really took a moment to actually like reflect whether what I'm doing is good or not. And whenever there was, let's call it occasion, to like go out here, I was invited to this party. Some of the friends wanted to go out or have a trip to this place, whatever that was. There was always some kind of distraction. And at the beginning, I didn't really know how to say no. I was like, I'm not gonna not enjoy my teenage years, because obviously I can build a business with this too, right? And well, I was actually wrong, and I'll explain why later in the video. But what used to happen a lot is I was just saying yes to every single occasion. And as I just said, whether that was a party, whether that was a trip somewhere, whatever that was, I was just like, yeah, cool, let me go there, let me make some memories. And well, yes, it's cool to make memories, especially when you are in your teens, when, pretty much making memories, when you're making memories for the lifetime. But for me, when I had this vision, when I had goals that were way above average, and I wanted to do something that really not many people at this age are doing, like I realized that I just need to be more dedicated, and I need to be more, let's call it, locked in my mission, in my purpose, and in everything I do, right? Because by saying yes to every occasion, I'm constantly being distracted, even though I was working 6 to 7 hours per day, plus going to school, which literally counted up like 14 hours per day of like constant focus in school, and then working on my laptop till probably like midnight every single day. I was just constantly distracted by so many different things. And to be truly honest, I didn't really know why my progress was so slow. But when I finally realized, like, that was the reason. The fact that I was just constantly saying yes, the fact that I was constantly distracted, and I never was really just so focused, like so all in on my online business. And when I actually realized that, like, that's when the results started coming in, right? That was about January, maybe February 2025. I started picking up, getting some new clients, some better clients in my copywriting business. And I hit even my first 4-figure month, which was, I believe, like 1.5, maybe $2,000, right? Nothing crazy. And this immediately made me believe that, hey, if I'm actually focused, like if I actually truly locked in on what I want to do, if I'm fully dedicated on my mission and on my purpose, like that's when things start to take off. And so I realized, like, whoa, if I can dedicate just 2 months and I already can see better results, like better output of my actions, then what if I dedicate 6 months? What if I dedicate 1 year? What if I dedicate 2 years of my time and just be so locked in on this one thing that I say no to everything and everybody else, and I'm just so all in on that specific one direction, right? And that's exactly what I did. And to be honest, that's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because right now I'm at a point where I can say yes to many things that I could not say yes back then, simply because I, for example, did not have the resources that I have right now. I couldn't afford certain things. And life right now presents just so much more options when you are in a position, right? So for example, right now, obviously I started leveling up as a person, then in business, I started making more money. And now I have many more options, right? So what happens is when you truly dedicate yourself to something, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, the more, the better, honestly. But what's crazy is that you can speed up your journey like 5 times, right? Just to give you an example, like it took me 2 months to like actually start making 4 figures, like practically from zero. Like I was just maybe working with some little clients here and there in my business. I was just making maybe some little money, but I was pretty much nothing, to be truly honest. And then I started making something, and then I say truly locked in, and then I was like, okay, I need to just fully go all in. And that's where things like started like really taking off. And right now I'm in the position that I am right now. Okay, I'm well on my way to hit my first 5-figure month. And to be honest, I would not be there if I wouldn't really stay locked in. And I'm locked in till now. Like, I'm just so obsessed with the vision, with the goal, with the purpose that I have, that I still say no to pretty much everything else. Because at one point, when you are so locked in, when you are so focused on your vision, when you are so focused on your mission, on your drive, on your vision, and everything like that, like it just becomes lifestyle, it just becomes so much more enjoyable. And at the point where I am, I just cannot imagine the day without working at all, right? And obviously now, don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying that you shouldn't be hanging out with your friends, like going to parties or whatever, because obviously, like if that's what you want to do, like then for sure do it. Like it's not that you have to cut out everything and every single person, but the truth is that if you do so, like you're gonna have the progress that nobody else can have, because you're so focused, you have no distractions, and your progress will be just faster than anybody else's progress, right? So one of the main things that I wanna kind of summarize here in this video is that if you wanna achieve your goals fast and faster than anybody else, like you just gotta do things that anybody else is not willing to do, which in my case was just saying no to everything and everybody else, right? And to be honest, I'm going to continue to do so because I can see that this is what gets me the best results, and this is what makes me keep growing and keep leveling up every single day, right? So that's the main message I wanted to bring up here on this video. I appreciate you guys taking time to watch this one. I hope you found it at some point valuable. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this video again, and I will see you in the next one. Let's go. Peace.